Hello, this is Tim Lebon, and welcome to Stoic Life Coaching. So today we're looking at another book I'm going to recommend, and also a book that could become part of your regular Stoic practice. So this is a book that even seasoned Stoics, like myself actually, will have actually in their bathroom and to their hand, so they can actually look at this regularly, because it's not necessarily the kind of book that you will read consecutively like you'd read a novel. It's a book that you dip into daily. So what book am I talking about? The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. So shall we have a peep inside? So we're looking here at the Kindle sample version. So you could download this from Kindle yourself if you wanted to have a look afterwards. And you will see that the book is structured very nicely, actually. So you can see there's a month, January, February, March, etc. And there's a part one, the discipline of perception. 2 is the discipline of action. Part 3 is going to be the discipline of will. And then there's some more sections there, which might be of interest. So what do we mean by these 3 disciplines? Well, this might be something we talk about in more detail on another occasion. But to put it very simply, we can learn to live well if we pay attention to how we see things. That's a discipline of perception. What we do, that's a discipline of action. And what we want, pointing to my heart, the discipline of will. So does that make sense at all? So this is about kind of the things that, if you're doing CBT with me, cognitive behavioral therapy, we'd be looking at the idea that it's not events themselves that influence you so much as how you interpret them. And the Stoics thought the same. Discipline of action is about what you do well, and what you do not so well. And the discipline of will is about what you decide you want, and how you deal with things when you don't get what you want. Okay, so shall we have a look at some of the entries and what you get if you look into the book a bit further? Let's have a look. So after the introduction, we have the first part, and for each day of the year, we have a quotation and then a gloss on the quotation. So shall we just have a look at the first one and see if it's the kind of thing that you can imagine reading either in the bathroom or perhaps over breakfast or even in the evening. So it's quite nice, this, because what they've done is they've taken a key Stoic principle, but not gone for the most popular version of it, which is the one you'd see in the Enchiridion or Handbook. But this is Epictetus in the Discourse. And he says, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can clearly say to myself, which are externals and not under my control, and which have to do with the choices that I actually control. Where then do I look for good and evil? Not to the uncontrollable externals, but within myself, to the choices that are my own. Wow, it says it all there, doesn't it? And then, so you would see the quotation and then the gloss. So let's see what they say. The single most important practice is to differentiate between what we can and what we can't change. Example of a flight being delayed because of weather. No point wishing about that things have been different. So it's very similar to the Serenity Prayer, and the message is true for us today. If we focus on making clear what parts of our day are within our control and what parts are not, we will not only be happier, we will have a distinct advantage over other people who fail to realize that they are fighting an unwinnable battle. So that's interesting, isn't it? The particular emphasis of Stoicism in this book, it's to do with being happier, being more serene, and the focus on success. For Ryan Holiday, that's very much the obstacle is the way it comes from the kind of Silicon Valley brand of Stoicism. And I guess if I was teaching this, I might talk more about virtue and how it makes us into the sort of person we would want to be. So we're not going to go through every single day. I'm going to flick through a little bit of the rest of it, so you can see the kind of quotations. There we have Seneca from the Shortness of Life, something from Marcus Aurelius, a different translation actually of 9:6 that we looked at ourselves a little while ago. And maybe we'll just have a look at one more, just to get a kind of, there's the most famous one about what we can and what we can't control. Should we just go for one more to have a look at? This might be irritating for you. You might say, why doesn't he talk about this one that looks so interesting? Let's have a look at this. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 12:9. Understand at last that you have something in you more powerful and divine than what causes the bodily passions and pulls you like a mere puppet. What thoughts now occupy your mind? Is it not fear, suspicion, desire, or something like that? So it's a lovely image of Marcus's, not to be pulled around like a puppet, to be pull our own strings, we might say. And then let's have a quick look at the gloss, because one of the reasons I'd like you to think about whether this book is for you is whether you like the way that Ryan Holiday and his co-author gloss the quotation from Marcus. So think of all the interests vying for a share of your wallet, for a second of your attention. And then Marcus wasn't exposed to our modern culture, but he knew plenty of distracting things. So we're pulled by forces. Philosophy is simply asking us to pay careful attention and to strive to be more than a pawn. That's another image of the chess player. Are we like a pawn? And then it's talking about Viktor Frankl, who's another interesting thinker who we'll probably talk about in a later Stoic Saturday. Man is pushed by drives, but pulled by values. So the idea that you can choose to be pulled by your values rather than pushed by your drives. So it requires work and awareness, but isn't that better than being jerked about on a string? So what do you think? Is it something that would be a worthy addition to your library or even your bathroom? This book is available on Kindle and in hardback, and you can also, I believe, get it an audio version of it, for instance, on Audible. See you later. Bye for now. This has been Tim Lebon's Stoic Life Coaching. I hope you find this material useful. If so, you might like to subscribe to the YouTube channel and maybe let other people know about it. Consultations are available via Zoom. See you later.